Hello everyone, this is Khalil from NCS Training Center. We are a training center located here in Toronto, Canada, and we are specialized in Microsoft Dynamics Business Central training. So this is my contact information if you need to drop me an email or if you have any questions or any training requests, you can always contact me through this email, or you can look me up on LinkedIn if needed and message me there. This is my picture during my last visit to Paris last year. I enjoyed that visit a lot, and I visited Brussels in Belgium also. So today we are going to cover the prepayment subjects, and just that you know that the prepayment is covered already fully in this course, in the Financial Essentials course, in course 81242 AE. This is the course code, and the course description is the Financial Essentials. So let's jump to the topic directly here, because it's very important topic and lots of people requested it from me to go through the prepayment setup that we have to do in Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. And let me start with this diagram here. So you see, like, to assign prepayment percentage, you can assign it either for customers or for vendors. So if we have a requirement for customers to prepay certain amount for all the items that we have in stock, or for specific items, you see this is the diagram here, and it shows clearly that the customers, there's more options to select for the customers. So you can request a prepayment from customers either for all the items or for specific item, and we can group the prepayment per customer price group. So each customer price group will have a prepayment requirement for specific items. Or we can do it for all the customers also. So all the customers, they can require prepayment percentage if needed. And the same thing for vendors, but vendors has less possibility. So either it has to be for vendors for all the items, or it has to be for specific items. There's no vendor price group in this case. Let me show you the setup that you have to do. It's very simple, and it's automated completely in Business Central. So you don't have to worry about the automation part, because it's already automated in Business Central. So you see, this is the vendor cards. So from the Payments FastTab, there's a field here called Prepayment Percentage. So you specify here the percentage that you want for this vendor. So you will require prepayments, or this vendor require prepayment from us, 20% prepayment. We have to pay him upfront before even doing the final payments, or before shipping the order. So this vendor, he will require 20% prepayment from us. So to do the setup, you just open the vendor cards and you go to the Payment FastTab, and you do the prepayment percentage here. You put it here in that field. This is for specific vendor. Now, what else do we need to know about this? So you know, from the vendor card also, we can make a combination with an item number. For example, this vendor here requires prepayment of 30% for specific item. So from the vendor card, you just go to the vendor card for that specific vendor, and then you click on the prepayment percentages. Here on the navigate ribbon, you click on prepayment percentage, and you put here that this vendor, which is vendor 20,000, it will come up automatically the vendor number here, because you are dealing with vendor 20,000. You see here, This is the vendor 20,000. You click on prepayment percentage, and then you will get this screen here. This vendor 20,000, for this item, for specific item, he will require 30%. This might happen, like for example, if a vendor has a prepayment requirement for expensive item, so he might require, like from his customer, now talking on the vendor perspective, the vendor will require from all his customers to prepay specific percentage for expensive item, for example. So this is how we set it up in Business Central. You just go to the vendor card for that vendor and you click on prepayment percentages, and then you specify here that this is the item and this is the prepayment percentage, 30%. And always Business Central, you will deal with the most specific setup. So if we have already a vendor set up here on the previous screen, as I mentioned to you, that for example this vendor 20,000, he has prepayment requirement of 20%, but again we specified, we have more specific setup for more specific item 1900-S. We have more specific setup that this vendor will require 30%, so he will use this prepayment requirement for this item. He will not use the 20% because this is more specific setup that we have done to Business Central. So Business Central always use the most specific setup. Now the same thing it will be for customers. So for example, we have this customer and we require from this customer number 20,000, the seller Selangorian Limited, we require from him 30% prepayment. So this means that we will not be able to complete shipment for the orders, or we will this will work only, not only for items, sorry, it will work for items, for service items, for GL accounts. So this customer, he will be required to prepay us 30% before shipping his orders. So this is the setup that we have to do for the customers, or for specific customer if we require prepayment from this customer. So just go to the payments, FastTab, to the prepayment and put 30% or the percentage that you want or that we asked for it. And also I can set up specific prepayment requirements. So here is the customer cards. If I go to the prepayment percentages, for that customer, although I put here 30%, but I can go to prepayment percentages, and what do I need to do here? I can specify that, for example, this customer, which has a sales code of 20,000, for this item, for this specific item, I need prepayment of 40%. You see, this is more specific also for specific item. Not only that, but also there's another setup, as I mentioned to you, another possibility that for the item, for specific item, for example, 1896-S, this is a specific item that we have in stock. If I go to sales and prepayment percentage, then I can specify here that either for all customers or for specific customer group, for this item, I will require 50% prepayment. Because, for example, it's expensive item, it's special item, we paid lots of money to produce that item, so I will be requiring prepayment. Or maybe the customer is new to us, we haven't dealt with this customer before, so we require prepayment from this customer 50%. And always I can use here the starting date and the ending date. These fields are optional. It's up to you if you want to use them or not, or you can leave them blank.